Okay, today is our last day of what I call new material in Precalc, which is just an awesome piece. So now, what do we need to learn? Well, the test is on solving log and exponential equations. So, what if I throw you an exponential and see if you can solve it? I'm going to make it a fairly easy one. First thought, get the clump alone. Second thought, rewrite. Final answer needs to be x equals something. The x isn't alone, you haven't finished yet. Miss M in the back, tell me what to do. Good, that way you're getting the clump, which is that part, alone. All right, and 15 divided by 5 is 3, and now it's the rewrite part. If you rewrite, you oh. Questions on that? Okay, now I know you might be thinking, well, what's the answer? Well, x is alone. It's done. As long as this and this can't get along, like they don't have the same base, then we're done. What if this 3 had been a 1/7? Would you be able to have handled it? Everybody see if you can figure that one out. If there had been one more step, we got down and the x was equal to this, do you know what to do? You can rewrite it back again if you want to, but however you do it, you have to solve and get x alone and equal to a nice simple number. You are correct, you are correct, you are correct. 4 of you are correct. 5 of you are correct. 6, 7, 8 people have it. 9 people have it. Yes, 10 people have it. 11 people have it. Okay, if you rewrite this guy, it would be 7 to the x equals 1/7. And then the 1/7 could really be written as 7 to the negative 1. That's where the real magic happens. 1/7 becoming 7 to the negative 1. All right, let's just do a little bit of negative exponent practice. 9 to the negative 2. Now I want you to compare with the person sitting next to you. It's going to be U3. These two rows direct across from each other. These two rows direct across, except you and you need to compare. These two rows direct across from each other, and these two rows direct across, except you need to do double duty so you can get somebody to check his. See what you think it is. All right, so if you're stuck on this kind, I would just ignore this negative to start with and say, well, if it was 9 squared, I could tell you the answer. 9 squared is 81. Okay? Then you throw in the fact there's a negative power, and I just hope you don't think it's negative 81. It's 1/81. All right, let's do another couple like little, if you don't know this, it's going to hold you back. Log base 2 of 7. What's that? Should be quick and easy. What is it? 7. These two are the same. That's the answer. How about this? E to the ln 5. What's the answer? 5. Because that ln is really a log base e, and if this and this are the same, the answer is the other number. Okay, how about this one? 5 to the x is equal to the cube root of 1/25. Holy smokes. No, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Hold on. No, I did mean that. You can do that. Yes. What you should be thinking right here is, I need to make that into 5 to a power. And then I'll be able to have the answer. Compare with the kid I paired you with. And if you're stuck, ask him for help. So here's how you do this one. You should be thinking, I need this to be 5 to a power. And I just don't know what power. Then I say to myself, oh, it's a root. The root goes on the bottom of the little fraction. Just like in plants, roots go on the bottom. Then, this is a negative because it has 1/. So therefore, it's a negative power. And the last thing is, that 5 needs to get squared to turn into 25. So there you go. So then the final answer is, if these bases are equal, that equals that. Okay, next kind. log base 3 of x plus log base 3 of x plus 1 is equal to log base 7 of 1. There's a whole lot going on in that problem. My rules for these are get it down to 1 log on each side. Simplify things if you can. Rewrite things when you have to. When you get a quadratic, you'll get 2 answers. Make sure that one of them isn't extraneous. Pause for a second while you give this one a shot. If you finish up with that one before we're ready to continue, you can start on the next level question, which will be where we do a U-Substitution. By the way, that red one's a quadratic too. Okay, so it's just a totally different kind of quadratic. It starts as an exponential. You do a U-Substitution. See if you can handle, once you get the black one done, you can handle the red one. These are both tough ones. Need help? Ask the person next to you. Maybe you'll both be stuck on the same problem. We'll see. Okay, let's see how this first one would go. These two can be combined. So you make them log base 3 of x times x plus 1. With me so far? All I did is make a plus into a multiply right there. Now, I've got logs on both sides. But the weird thing is, the logs aren't the same base. So that's all going to work out nice when you realize that this one is you won the argument, and therefore it's just what? 0. So the right-hand side there is really a 0. So now I'm trying to think what to do if I don't have a log on that other side. Whenever you're stuck, think rewrite. 3 to the 0, 3 to the 0 is 1, equals all that. 1 equals x times x plus 1. I wish this was equal to 0 right there, but it's not, so I have to multiply it all the way out. That'll mean 1 equals x squared plus x. Move the 1 to the other side, I say minus 1. And now it's equal to 0. Now I can see if it factors. It doesn't factor. And then what do you move to? We don't want factor. Quadratic formula. X equals negative b, negative 1. Plus and minus square, root of b squared, which is 1. Minus 4ac, 4 times 1 times negative 1. 4 times 1 times negative 1. That means there's 2 negatives in it, which makes it positive 4. So that's the square root of 5 all over 2a. 2 times 1 is 2. So x equals negative 1 plus and minus the square root of 5 all over 2. That is as nasty as it could possibly get. And those are our 2 answers for x. Now, is it possible that one of those is negative and therefore will crash because when you put it in, it won't work? Yeah, which one's negative? The one where you had negative 1 and you minus root 5? That's going to be negative. So therefore, that one is extraneous. Therefore, it's x equals negative 1 plus root 5 over 2. It's the only one that would work. It's not pretty, but isn't x alone? So, all right. It was 1, which is b squared, minus 4ac, and 4 was 4, and a is 1, and c is negative 1. Since there's a negative here and a negative there, it really means plus. 1 plus 4 makes 5. There you go, squared. Okay, now let's talk about the red one. So, on the red one, I'd be thinking let u, this is a U-Substitution. So, I'm going to let u be some part of this that would simplify my life a lot. Let u equal not 7 to the 2x because they don't have a 7 to the 2x in both parts. They have a 7 to the x in both parts. Let u equal 7 to the x. And then it's u here and a u there. U squared plus u plus 1 equals 0. And so, factor that one. U plus 1, u plus 1. And then the answer is u equals negative 1 and a repeat of that. No sense in repeating it. But when The reason we use U is so that at the end you don't get fooled into thinking you're done right there. We have not solved for x. Yes, sir. Uh-oh. Dang, you're right, doesn't factor. My bad. I thought it was going to factor. All right. I should have made it a 2. I should have made it a 2 times this right here, so that this would be a 2u, and then this would have factored. Sorry about that. Okay, so that makes it harder because it wouldn't factor. Then you'd have to do quadratic formula. Then you're going to have nasty answers. We wouldn't have anything that hard in the test. I'm sorry I designed that problem. I was off by a 2. Okay, so let's go to now some of the actual worksheet for today. I think we're ready to jump in. Let's go to, where is it? Hold on. In the old days, you would only get phone calls at your house. Now, people spam you on your phone. You have to fend off the phone calls. That was not even anybody I want to talk to. Some guy trying to sell me siding or something. Okay, so we're looking now for the worksheet. I'm going to pause while we get that ready. So here's our first one. Man, you got to remember so many things. Remember what I said? Anytime you see ln, you should do what? Log base e. Good. So you should do that, really. Log base e of x plus 1 equals 2. And now I'm kind of stuck because I don't know how to get x alone. That's going to be complicated. So if I'm ever stuck, what did I say to think about? Rewrite. Got to remember these things. I'm not just saying them for a reason. I am saying them for a reason. On the test, you're going to get stuck. Think, can I rewrite? Oh, I can rewrite this thing. That to the that equals that. E to the second equals x plus 1. And now, the last thing is, the point of solving is you've got to get x alone. So, just got to subtract 1 from both sides. Now, some people would ask, do you actually want me to use 2.71 in there? Only if it said to find me an answer rounded to a certain decimal place. Because that answer is perfect. It's not been rounded, so it's better than if you call it 2.71. And yes, it's supposed to be minus 1. Okay. Any other questions about number 1? Okay. Number 2 is going to be just the same, so let's not even. You can do it for homework, but I don't think you need my help on it. Number 3 is an example of get the clump alone. You cannot rewrite number 3. A lot of people try to, but you wouldn't know what to do with the 2. So the first step is, there's 2 ways you can do this. That 2 can go to 2 different places before I do a rewrite. Do you get I could divide both sides by 2? That's one way. What else could you do? Put it up on the x. Either way would work. Personally, I'm going to divide by 2. Then I'm going to have ln x equals 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then I'm stuck. So, think rewrite. That's log base e, really, right? So it's e to the 4th equals x. There we go. All right. I want to point out that if you had done it the other way, and you'd have moved this squared up onto the x, then when you solved it, you would have had an x squared in your answer, and you would have ended up taking a square root, and you would have ended up with a plus and a minus 4. But here's the thing. If you had a plus and a minus answer right now, you get that the negative one just wouldn't work. Because when you put it in, it would have crashed the function when you put that negative in there. So this one's just fine. It's got only one positive answer. All right, let's move on to number 5 will be easy. It's just a rewrite. Number 6 is easy as long as you remember ln means log base e. You just rewrite it. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, actually, yeah, rewriting would be good. You could do it a different way. This was log base e of x over e. This is going to get complicated if I do it the other way, though. I think rewriting is the best way to go. E to the second equals x. Tons of rewriting on this test. Tons of rewriting in this worksheet. All right. I mentioned that today is the last day of new material for a while. Just a quick reminder what that means. There's a review for accumulative which you all need to be ready for the material because it's coming on the final, but the cumulative is optional. Only take it if you have not done well on one of the 3 tests. The test we take Friday, if it doesn't go well for you, you got instant retake, which is nice, but it's going to waste some of your time because you'll have to take a test. You have to study for that test. If you just do well on it the first place, many of you would not have to use this cumulative and take it at all. You could skip it pretty much. All right, let's move on to like number 10. One of my rules is you only should have 1 log on each side. Condense this so you have only 1 log on each side. Then, once you have 1 log on each side, if that log has the same base, which in this case it does, this is not that these are canceling, but it acts like that. Because then what really is happening, hold on, back to where I was. What's really happening is that this is equal to that. It's as simple as that. Logs are gone now. X over x minus 1 is equal to 2. So you multiply both sides by the denominator. We've been teaching you to kill denominators since the beginning of the year. You multiply by x minus 1. You multiply by x minus 1. And that cancels that. So x is equal to 2x minus 1. X is equal to 2x, I should say 2 times the quantity x minus 1. Which you're right, 2x minus 2 if I multiply it out. And last but not least, you got to get the x's all to one side. I think you can handle it from there. Basic algebra. All right. Number 9's a tricky one. It's got one of those U-substitutions, just like the one we just did a minute ago for practice. So you're going to let u equal e to the x. Then you'll be able to put a u in there and a u in there. Then you'll be able to factor it. This one will factor. Once you got it factored, you'll have 2 answers. Then u is this, so when you have your answers like u equals 1 and u equals negative 2, or whatever it is, then you got to put the u back in there. U is really e to the x. This u is really e to the x. So don't forget that substitution back at the end. Now, you have to be responsible here. I know some of you would totally know how to do that, and others of you would be totally lost. If you need help, ask during work time. You got a review. I'm doing a review today, and it's really a review tomorrow. And then the test is on Friday. So you have plenty of chance to ask me, but ask me during work time if you want. All right, I'm going to go to one more problem on this page, and that is some of these end ones. We have complicated looking ones where this seems easy, except I can't make a 6 into a 3 to a power really easily. Like I can't make the bases the same. Any thoughts on that? Could I rewrite it? Anytime you get stuck, think about rewriting it. So it would be a rewrite of log to the base. What's the base in this one? Base 3. Log base 3 of 6 equals the other thing. That equals that. X plus 4. And there, x is almost alone. Again, I know you might be thinking, well, I don't know what this simplifies to. You don't have to. I don't care as long as you get x alone. So you just have to get minus 4 on both sides. So log base 3 of 6 minus 4 equals x. There, x is alone. We will have answers like that sometime. No, you can't do the 6 minus the 4 because this is like a block. It's kind of like the order of operations. That all goes together. It has to get done first before you subtract 4. All right. I got a question. No, if you were going to do anything there to clarify what's going on, you could put a parenthesis around the 6. Because you should be able to tell that this is a block. This all goes together. Log base 3 and the number that comes after it is all one chunk. Okay? I would have accepted it without those parentheses there, but it's a good idea to have them. Okay, so got time? Use me. I want you to ask me questions during your work time. I'll be happy to help you. And that's all I got for the video for today.